Twain. Alright, let's see what this is. Oh no! The Transcontinental Railway has been taken over by some baddies. Head to the front and be sure to watch your step. I know this is a train level. This is one of the... I think this might have been the first QLDC level I saw on stream, or... I guess I did some testing for people. The Grand Transcontinental Railroad. I think I tested for somebody. Oh, right. It's this kind of wall. That's not that kind of wall. At least we get Booster's music. You are not my favorite ASM wall jumping. Oh god. I wasn't ready for that. I may not be ready for this level at all. But it was on the list. Actually ran into Lizstar at GDQ. Alright, so there's the possibility of getting a power-up there. I think I just need to get off that wall quicker. Remember Child You not being able to beat a level in Bugs Bunny for a few solid months? You know, those, like, Looney Tunes games actually did punch above their weight. I vaguely remember the Tiny Toons game for, like, Genesis being kind of good. Maybe it was Super Nintendo, I forget. I just remember you had to fight, like, Robo Plucky. Where, like, the gimmick was that Montgomery Max had gone and, like, put Hypno helmets on all your friends except Buster or something. You could play... I think you could play as Buster or Babs. I don't really remember now, though. It's been forever. Nope, there's no hesitation there if I want that mushroom. Nope. Ugh. BD told Lizstar while GDQ took their longest hack title record. Really? I'm surprised that that beat out the Hammer one, but I guess it does. Or Mice. Come on. I just need to jump there. I'm going too slow. Thought I had that. iTunes Buster Bakes Loose is the bane of existence. Thought it was that. Logo looks familiar. I believe it. As a kid, never beat it. I mean, I never beat it either, but we rented it from Blockbuster like once. And we didn't actually own a Super Nintendo, so because we borrowed it from a friend. So I don't think we actually, like, had much of a chance of beating it. Every once in a while, I do wonder about some games, whether or not it's worthwhile to go back and try again. It's kind of for the fun of it. What's up, Max? Train stage can go something not friendly. Let's see. What? I don't know why you linked to this, but okay. It's a very strange looking hack. So happy you're not the only one that had that experience. Well, now we know. I think, honestly, I had, like, some access to some, like, codes that were written down somewhere. I'm pretty sure BD has, like, a script to get all the information that maybe Shoujo made for him, or made for them, I forget. For the purposes of doing the Hall of Fame stuff. That was like what I needed to do, but slightly incorrect. I also have code for scraping like all of hack names if I felt the need to. I did it once for a project that never panned out. Though a bit of it still lives on in the meta system that gets all the hack info. I now understand why Max linked to that. Nope. But yeah, Lizstar was in the practice room, especially late in the day, late in the late in the event, showing off various like Saturn games she thinks are cool. There's one I really want to play. It's like half Lemmings, half Tetris. It looks really weird. I definitely want to give that a shot on stream at some point. It was indeed very cool. Like, I've got the Saturn with a flash card on it, and I've played so very little on it. Just one of these days. Okay. This is fine. Damn it. What's up, Fries? Getting your ass beat by Elden Ring. I mean, isn't that kind of the point, though? I don't know what my plan was there. But yep, break is over. Sick break is over, getting back to things. I can't believe that worked. Cannot believe that worked. I'd be here for a bit. This is like my least favorite of all wall jump assemblies, or wall jump hack block things. It's another good title. What is this? The first SMW hack that'll be so lucky as to gain the luxury of leaving my PC. That is actually pretty good. But yep. Just another funny thing. Someone posted in SMWCentral about making an RPG interface. Like, what should I make my RPG interface look like? And I reposted, make it look like it was made in VB6. And I was going to post an example. But, realized looking at archive.org, the example in question wasn't exactly family friendly because it was depicting a drug deal. I decided not to. Dang it. If I managed to download Discord Tetris... Oh, I can now because I did that reboot right before ICFP. I could do that now. Thank you for the reminder. I should take a look at that. I completely forgot. Because I figured for ICFP I'd need to download something, so I went and like collated all the windows and got all of the volatile windows closed. It took some doing. But I just haven't done it yet. Like, basically, I did ICFP, went to GDQ, I got sick, I came home, had to deal with, Squiggles hurt his back, and so I was helping him out with making it so his house was accessible to himself. And what was the other thing I did? Oh, and then I got sick. Which, yeah, sucks, but happens. So, but I'm mostly better. I'd say I'm about 75 when I wake up and trending towards like 80, 85, 80, 89 by the time I go to bed. It's one of those, like, once you are close to getting well, you're not going to get there immediately, but damn it, I cannot believe that mushroom is so hard to get. But I want to get back to the things I need to get done. I'm thinking about that gate. That Baldur Gate. The Orator Gate. And also, I picked up Reverie for moderation, and I haven't done that yet. I was hoping to do it earlier this week. Well, that's new. But, again, sick. So the reason we did Final Fantasy V on Thursday was like, this is the thing I can do, and I know it won't be too bad. See, that actually feels really good when you accomplish it. The big ol', like, zip around. Okay. Damn it. I'm getting closer to the edge. And I'm about to break. Also helped out Desi. Desi wanted to play Armageddon. The rather infamous SMRPG hack, but it has a lot of flashing and that doesn't work for him and his stream. And so I wrote a small bit of assembly to dim the battles. That's all it does. It literally just sets the brightness register to half. Because the game just kind of runs in a world where the brightness register is always set to 15, I think. And I just like, no. Turn it to half. Seems to work in the battles I've looked at. Can't promise it's gonna work the whole game, but I think it'll work. Because I think when it wants to dim the color, it wants to dim the backgrounds and stuff, it uses color math instead of using the register. Because usually if it's about to dim something, it's going to also have another effect applied. That was cool. Oh, I see now. It goes further under than I thought. But yeah, a few lines of assembly, a little bit of time in mess then, it was all good. The trickiest bit was that I ended up, as I was hooking the NMI handler, I ended up messing up the order of registers at one point and had to re-debug it. Especially after I wanted to hook a little bit higher so that I could nuke the X and Y registers without worrying about having to bring them back. Or save them off somewhere. So the nice thing about hooking an NMI handler is you really don't need to worry about the cleanup as long as you copy the cleanup adequately. Because everything's already on the stack and needs to be cleaned up and put back into its proper spot. So as long as you just do it, it should be fine. Double hit. Or his gate. I mean, come on. It's the obvious joke. Oh. Way too late. Oh, man. Oh, I know you would. Did see Barb at GDQ. Didn't say hi, though. It was like... he would have no idea who I am. But did get to see an awful lot of the people, very cool people. Met Juz, met Glitchcat, Hallelujah, Blue Ribbon. Oh, yeah, Blue Ribbon. And a bunch of others, Java Brew. I have Juz stickers now, which is nice. Yep, obviously I have no face cam. How could they know? In fact, there were several instances of Leela just like, I'm just watching people play, and then suddenly they turn around and I was like, oh, it's you! Which was kind of fun. Was bullshitting with one of Just Cook's fan. It's true, I did get all 3 endings without much effort. With less effort than anyone else. Were there 3 endings? I guess there was the false ending. I guess I probably did get, like, the normal SMW ending. Okay, doing okay this time. Trying to decide how much time I actually want to spend playing this game level. It's, on its terms. I'm not sure I actually like this all as much, just as I don't like the wall jump. Just also in terms of like cool stuff, I got a good pinball lesson from Glitchcat, which honestly, if I was well, I would have already gone and tried to apply. He watched me play for a couple minutes and was like, okay, I see what you're doing, here's something to work on. I'm like, yes, this is exactly the kind of advice I need. Especially when I could have bumping the machine. Like, I do pretty well for someone who doesn't really bump the machine, but I don't do great. And yeah, he definitely helped me out there to understand like what you can actually accomplish with that. Because it doesn't work miracles. but it can help a lot. He also showed me a secret illegal technique, which was kind of fun. Something that'll literally get you kicked out of pinball places. So I won't be doing that anytime soon. Lift the front legs? Nope. He pointed out it, and I'm like, wait a second, that reminds me very much of a thing that I actually have seen on another machine. Now I can play Sonic Spinball? I don't think I can. I mean, every time I've tried to play Sonic Spinball, it's gone kind of badly. I can get to, like, the second level without too much trouble, but beyond that, good luck. How? I need to kill him, that's it. Avoidance isn't gonna work. But yeah, I have lifted the pinball machine's front legs before. Not very often. Seriously. Mostly because it was already a dead ball, and I'm like, well, I can't really lose out much. Just to dislodge it. I've gotten better. I haven't had to do that in a very long time. And usually now, if I lodge the ball somewhere weird, it's not remotely recoverable. My favorite one is I managed to lodge the ball in the castle in Medieval Madness once. And, like, the pinball people weren't mad, they were just impressed. More recently, I managed to lodge a ball in John Wick, which, was funny, but not, like, haha funny. I took a picture because I thought it was kind of cool, but I don't think it's all that. Oh, man. I don't know if Barb ever, like, saw the Chat Axe thing. Like, I'm not in his Discord, because I don't actually, like, watch Barb. Not because I dislike him or anything, just because, like, I think he streams early in the morning relative to me. And I'm more of an afternoon watcher in my time zone, which is already pretty dang late. Like, I don't even know what time zone Barb is in, but he definitely is an earlier man than I am. There we go. It was, in fact, one of the amusing conversations I had with... I really wish I got the dude's... I definitely had the dude's name at some point, but I don't think I kept it. Fan of Juz Cook. He watches Juz Cook in the morning right before work, and he works out of the Central time zone, if I remember correctly. Maybe Eastern. So basically, he catches Juz for like an hour before he has to go to work. Which is perfect for, like, just getting ready and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bed around then. This is already a really early riser, like waking up at 5 a.m. in his time zone. I don't feel like I'm making consistent progress in this level. Probably why. That hammer. I kind of feel as a Kaizo level in disguise. It's not a bad thing. But what? I got distracted by the death block persisting. Tick. Well, the furthest I've gotten so far. Oh no. Okay, well at least I know what's going on here. Being big isn't that helpful. I'm still gonna do it, but I don't think it's actually gonna be like the thing that helps me beat the level. Didn't mean to jump off the shell. Yeah, I played a decent amount of John Wick when I was at GDQ, just because, like, there was a free John Wick machine, and I'm like, well, why not? Amongst other good machines. They had Crazy Taxi, which is like my favorite arcade machine. Favorite modernish arcade machine, I suppose I should say, because I really do like some of the old school ones. Need to kill him before that happens. I'm trying to think of anything else. Like, they also had a Waka machine, and Waka is just a lot of fun. It's a weird rhythm game where you kind of feel like you're doing one of those old school, like, 1970s Star Trek kind of virtual interfaces. Of course, all the songs in it are all Japanese stuff, so unless you know Toho anime themes, Hololive, and I guess like some random like stage show stuff, like there's 2D or 2.5D anime or something. Definitely a little bit outside of my weeb window. But as long as you know those things, you're gonna have a grand time with that machine, because it's mostly those. I liked playing Brain Power on it, because Brain Power is just a fun song. Though I don't think I ever got to, like, the most high difficulty. But the nice thing is, unlike DDR, it doesn't actually, like, shame you for failing. Like, you can play at your level, and you get rated. And it's kind of lenient compared to what you might expect. But DDR, like, you failed a song, it's like, yeah, you suck. And it's right in the middle of the song, and so you're just like, wow, that was fun. Okay, so I can't get away with that. If I get hit there, that's not happening. Slow. Okay, that didn't matter. I wonder why that's happening with the vine. Wait, one, that was the wrong thing to do. I think that was a trap one. Nuts. But I can see the end. I know what to do, I just have to apply myself. Other interesting things. Like, if you didn't watch the ROM Hack Races relay, do it. Like in the Austin Power commercial style of, if you're gonna watch one thing tonight, watch that relay. If you're gonna watch two things, watch the relay and then my stream. Pokey Upward is evil. It's not bad. Like, I don't think any of that part's bad. It's just a matter of, like, getting there on meeting timing. Didn't even mean to jump off the wall. Open the door, get on the floor. Everybody walk the dinosaur. I'm trying to remember who I watched play this. I want to say Shoved Up. Like a million years ago, but I'm not sure now. Somehow I knew that was coming. That muncher at the top is just like unnecessary meanness. I'm late. Got way late. Weird to me where the little splat spawns. Basically, if that hammer spawns, it's going to hit me. I can't seem to move out of the way fast enough. That's where I burn my power-up, so be it. Because honestly, I don't think it's going to help that much in the latter part of the level. And a good old double hit. But that was pretty good. Saw the troll race, Carl and Juz live. That was fun. I Want to Be the Guy stuff was really good, actually. The Awana Fest 2022 was really cool. Would definitely recommend giving that a watch. Actually met Wolsk later when we were playing pinball. This is the first off-second machines your dad has. Oh, first or second machine. What is this? Star Wars 92. Ooh, shiny. think I played this at the pinball show. Yeah, I definitely played this at the Maybe I didn't. Maybe I played like The Empire Strikes Back. That was a little cool. I like that ramp in the middle with the loop. God, I bet so many... Oh, never mind, I'm reading it wrong. That looks fun, though. Pinball machines are expensive. I mean, you get like cheaper, older ones that are busted, but still. Also, there's like a million varieties of new ones. Like, the John Wick has like 5 or 6 different variants, it seems, and so does Godzilla. And Godzilla's awesome. No, I missed it. Got distracted. But yeah, Wolsk also worked on the ROMHax relay thing. Told me an interesting little anecdote about building it. The lighter tech? Yeah. That was one thing Glitchcat pointed out to me when playing pinball, was like, the modern machine is a lot lighter than the old ones. And I'm like, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. There's probably a lot more plastic components, simpler wiring and everything. God, I got distracted again. But the interesting thing I learned about the relay race was that it was originally gonna, the D to the 4th and Dan Salvato level was originally going to be run twice. Oh, for fire? Yeah, I thought we were still on the topic of pinball. I don't know when we moved into the topic of fire. I guess, yeah, there is nicer lighter tech. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I guess old school matches are pretty awful. I think they tended to explode. Which is bad. Okay. Never did, just randomly blurted out because you bought a new one at the market. It uses a light bow to start a fire. Ah! Ever seen new ones? Like the 90s era a lot, tons of movie-inspired ones. Pyrotechnics in your pinball machine. You know, it would be cool if it happened once. Or if, like, this was a special exhibition thing, like for a... Dang it. Like a Burning Man or some sort of art collective thing. But honestly, I don't think I want pinball machines that emit sparks and report. But it's the kind of thing you can do. It's feasible. Recharge it via USB? Oh wow, that's actually really surprising, because I figure most lighters also use some amount of like fluid. Like lighter fluid that you would use in it. I don't know if you can recharge that over USB. Definitely a little bit nicer on the thumb than the old Zippo though. Basically the only time I think about lighting fires is when I'm like lighting a candle if the power's out. It's like, it's fun to have candles if the power's out. I'm gonna be in the bathroom, I may as well have at least some modicum of light. Or like barbecuing if we use like charcoal, which we did for ICFB. We actually were like, huh, there's a charcoal grill here at the Airbnb. Why not? Which was, oh, actually that's a story. So after I got back from GDQ, Squiggles had hurt his back and was in the hospital. So he asked if I'd go to his place and take care of the cat litter and take out the trash. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. So Snyder picked me up and I tell him about the issue. And like, yeah, we can't have tacos, sorry. Because I need to be able to... Why do I have this? Usually you put some sort of gas in, but this one has a small electric charge jump from one rod to the other, but anything flammable. Ah, okay, that makes sense. Why would the avoidance happen twice? I think I've missed the plot on that question. But yeah, I went and got in my car. Like, I chilled out here for a little bit. Getting back, so I'm like kind of tired and all feeling plainy. And then dang it. Mildly focus for a second. And I head to Squiggles. Nope, that wasn't a troll. I just happened to hit it just the wrong frame. Ah, GDQ Relay. Okay, yes, I can tell you about that. So basically the deal was they were going to just run it twice, because initially what had happened was the entirety of it was the first section y'all saw. So basically the first with the, you know, terrible night to have a curse and do this, it was originally cut down to be about 2 minutes long and then run it twice. So 2 people would do the first run, and then 2 people would do the second run, and they'd add up the scores. And then I think Walsh came in and was like, that's lame, we should extend this. And so they did. They added a bunch of stuff. And the thing that's really interesting is that the first part is literally just was made in the I Want to Be the Fan Guy engine, the Game Maker engine, and then recorded, and then transmuted into what it is, which I think is just a series of layer 3 tiles. Looking at it, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I can't prove it. I suspect the palettes are also in there, but it's hard to see via hex edit, double hit. So after that, after the first dude signed off and having done the avoidance part, they made the other parts in After Effects. Because at that point, it's just a video file. You can edit it. It doesn't matter. And that includes the Grand Poo World 2 Bowser / Kamek. People forget the Kamek. It's easy to miss because Bowser's right there, but Kamek comes in for a little bit, a little cameo. Kameko. As well as like the quiz and the long arcs at the end. That was all After Effects. And because of the way it was built, again, it's just a movie file, effectively. Allowed them to amend it up to like the last little bit. So, huge improvement. Funny thing about Dan Salvato is you'd think that he'd be a hard man to find, but he wasn't. Basically, he was off in the Kaizo corner with an Amiga, trying to convince anybody who would listen about the glory of Amiga games. And even played through, like, had a random Amiga game selector. Which was just kind of fun. Watched people play, like, a couple weird fighting games and a few other things, and some cool ports. Apparently Amiga has a very lively porting scene still. Yeah, when I was talking with Walsh over Pinball, he was like, yeah, I'm trying to convince them that we should do a comment thing, and I'm like, yes, you guys should just go on, all do a nice commentary track for it, because that'd be so cool. Because there's definitely like a bunch of references to I Want to Be the Fan Game stuff in there that are definitely easy to miss or are confusing. It's like when they have the character bit where there's several obvious characters like Sans, Undertale, and Rob, and Monica. There's also a character, and I didn't know who he was, and I thought he was Katz from Zero Wing, the infamous All Your Base game. And I was informed that I was definitely wrong. And it's I Want to Be the Guy, like, cliche / genre of room. General Borch or something. You know, it's for the best. Oh, that double hit. I hope collectively they end up making that. That would be truly excellent. The GDQ behind-the-scenes stuff that they did prior to RMAC Races was really good, so if you've seen the relay, I'd recommend watching that. Including Fiend, whose name I've recently learned I've been mispronouncing. Doing some hitless runs of some of the things. Including the avoidance, which was cool. Definitely kind of curious to see how much of it would run on my SD to SNES, because I know that the avoidance stuff won't. Basically, it's SA1 plus MSU1, and I'm pretty sure my MSU1 doesn't work all that well, based upon my earlier experimentations. But I also know that the D to the 4th went and did something different from how I was doing it, which probably helps. Because what she did was instead she's reading to WRAM first, I'm pretty sure, because you need it to test collision. Which I didn't need for my purposes. Because I wasn't working in the framework of SMW, or even games. I was making a really crummy PowerPoint simulator. So I could show off some slides via the SNES, which I thought was cool. But when I did it with this, I had problems with weird issues relating to tile corruption. which wasn't what I was expecting. And I tried it a few different ways and eventually gave up because it was really late at night and I was tired and I had to ship it in the morning anyway. And then I never returned to it and I think I lost the code, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, having lost the code's not a big deal. I can easily recreate the stuff, the converted images, like crunching images is not, to SNES standard is not hard. It's not a hard coding problem. Especially the modes I was using. And the code that I use to display the text and everything is just sitting there on the Super Nintendo anyway. Friday. How you doing? I didn't choose this. It was randomly chosen. Look, I'm down to the very... dregs is not the right word, but we're down to the very few remaining QLDC levels. They're not all going to be easy winners. This is just a hard level. Damn it. So, I think I've said everything about avoidance that can be said. Did take a brief look to see how it worked. Off the bottom. The bottom of the barrel also feels wrong, because there's a certain amount of, like, disdain that you're expressing here when you say you're dealing with the dregs or the bottom of the barrel. Even if what was in the barrel was still good. Don't you love it when you hit all of the tiles except the one you wanted? Playing through Super Junkroid Metro Rando, which is a ROM hack of Super Metroid that randomized. Interesting. Is there a specific... like, I'd imagine you can't just use the generic randomizer for that. Going well. Got some quality of life, which is missing. Since a ROM hack, you can just ROM hack it. The tool needed to patch his XCast tonight. Oh, interesting. Replay 86 if the remaining entries are that bad. No, I have to get an emulator for that. All depends if it's brine or moonshine. That's what the good stuff is. I mean, when it comes to whiskey, the bottom of the barrel can be kind of awful though. Just because it depends on how long the barrel's been open. Like just more time exposed to air and whatnot. More oxidation. Like typically the bottom of the bottle for whiskey can be kind of awful. I was in DC and saw a bottle of Westland on the wall at the Hamilton, which I later learned is actually a music venue too. I was just there because I was cold and I wanted to go sit somewhere warm before picking up public transit to go home. Get a PAL SNES. I mean, I already have a Super Famicom. I need to either buy one off something. I don't even know where to get PAL. Where did I buy a PAL SNES? Oh, right. I need to be ahead of this by a fair margin. That's the furthest I've kept my power up, by the way. I don't know how to do that part. Lost my train of thought again. But yeah, I saw a bottle of Westland and I was like, oh, that's cool, you got Westland here. I love Westland, and talked a little bit about it. It's like, yeah, there's just a little bit left. Do you want what's at the bottom? I'm like, sure. Took it. Oh god, it was awful. That was not whiskey anymore. I've been sitting out too long. Definitely not the Westland I know. And their standard expression was, at least about at the time, like something I knew pretty well. It was a go-to whiskey. But alas, they don't even make a standard expression anymore. They switched to doing like a weird blended thing where they have all three of the standard expressions. They used to have a separate sherry, separate standard, they called it flagship, and then a separate sherry finish, sherry aged, and a separate peated. The separate peated was actually really good. It's a shame they got rid of that. That's the one I'm kind of miffed about them backing off on. Okay, cool. And I missed the wall. Okay, now I'll finish the other story I started telling. So, Squiggles hurt his back, so I needed to go to his place to take out the trash and do some basic help maintenance stuff. So after getting back from GDQ, Snyder picked me up at the airport. I can't believe I survived that. I had told him we couldn't get tacos, which was the airport payment of choice. Secret go-to gift. Japanese whiskey. I mean, it's gotten expensive recently. Like, it's good. I do wonder if it's because they use a different oak or something. But anyway, I get in my car. And I'm like, oh, it smells weird in here. So I just roll down the windows. I'm like, oh, I haven't driven my car in a while. I guess maybe it smells a bit like something else. I roll down the window and it's worse. I'm utterly confounded. I'm like, well, I'll turn on the AC. Maybe that won't smell. I'm like, oh, good. It doesn't smell. So I drive to Squiggles, and, you know, I have to help the cat stuff. He has two cats, two big cats, both Maine Coon-ish cats. I think one's a pure breed and one's a not-so-pure breed. But the big one weighs like 15 pounds, and he is all up in my face. He is just excited to see another human being, because Squiggles has been gone for a bit. And the place hasn't been vacuumed in a while, and I am mildly allergic to cats. So my allergies kick in. And I get like a sore throat like a minute within entering the place. So I think that's what's happening, but I think I caught the con crud. That's what really happened, since I spent several days being very miserable afterwards. And no amount of Claritin helped. So I do the stuff I need to do, I get out of there, I'm feeling like this, and I get in the car, and it just smells of cat pee, and I'm like, I emptied the litter box, but that's not how any of this should work. Litter boxes, actually, there's several of them. And so I'm like, well, okay, I wanted to go to this place because that would be where I'd get some really good food. So I'm already on the Bellevue side. In fact, I'm going to tell you guys what it is. It's Mediterranean Kitchen. Mediterranean Kitchen has delicious Mediterranean food. Lots and lots of garlic. You go in, you get soup, you get hummus. Just like, and they actually, the first thing they do is they bring you a pita and they give you some garlic-infused oil, and it is so delicious. But that's only if you come in to eat. And I'm like, well, you know what? I had to do this. I'm going to get me two of their best dish, the farmer's dish, which is the chicken wings. They soak the chicken wings in a ridiculous amount of garlic and red wine vinegar and a few other things, and then put a sauce made of more garlic on top. It is divine. So anyway, and I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I walk away from my car for a bit because I ordered over the phone. I got there a bit early. Like, oh yeah, this takes a while. Like, okay, I'll circle back, because I had illegally parked, because I was like, well, if I'm only going to be in there for a couple minutes, and it's Bellevue on a Sunday, it was busy. Well, the area around was busy. Mediterranean Kitchen wasn't busy yet. It was early enough in the evening, I think. Maybe they just don't do a lot of Sunday business. Last time I went on a Saturday, they were jammed. I think we managed to get a spot, though, which was nice. So anyway, I'd ordered to go, because I thought I smelled of cat pee, and I walked around like, I don't smell of cat pee now, that's weird. And then I finally think about it, I'm like, well, what if I left something in my car after ICFP? Like, what if I left, like, some meat or something? Or maybe there's some potato salad hiding out, and that's what smells bad. So I look in the back seat, and I'm like, oh, wait a second. Then I open the trunk, and I'm like, everything makes sense now. I had left Squiggles' propane grill in the back, and at some point in time, it turned on. And had been leaking propane. So I've been driving a car leaking propane. Which was a little disconcerting, so I let it air out a bit before driving back. But it was nice to know that, like, my car didn't smell randomly of cat pee. And it didn't explode, that's the other important thing. So yeah, I was a little disconcerted by all of that. On Monday, I went and helped him out more. I picked him up from the hospital and brought him home, to his home, and helped clean out his place because he was on a walker. They'd removed a good chunk of parts of his spine. Damn it. So apparently some issues with some discs. He showed me the pictures, and I'm like, oh god, please don't show me the pictures again. Because it was a lot of gory stuff. They even had, like, measuring sticks, like rulers next to it, and I'm like, I did not need to know how much they took out of you in inches, Squiggles. I just didn't need to know. So he was on a walker, but his place was kind of a mess, and so he wasn't able to, like, walk her around. So I pulled out a bunch of cardboard boxes, threw him outside, and cut him down. But, of course, it was in the middle of our heat wave, and so I'm just sweating. He's like, there's AC inside, and I'm like, yes, but I like breathing. So, after a bit, managed to get everything clean enough that he could live. And, is propane one of the things they add ingredients to? Is to smell bad? Yes. Yes, it is. They add some, like, ammonia compound, I think, to make it smell bad, which is why I thought cat pee when I smelled it. I just assumed some cat had peed on my car. Or, like, some drunk dude had peed on my car, which, given the air I'm in, it wouldn't be unexpected. It would be disappointing, but not unexpected. The good news is he's not really using the walker now. Is he shorter now? He wasn't terribly tall to begin with. I don't know. I didn't measure him. He's still walking a bit funny. But he does appear to be on the mend. He's not using the walker as much. He managed to drive a car for a little bit today because he needed to take a car out of the garage to make it so I could get to the recycle bin to help to take it out. But he seems to be doing better. He had also lost feeling in one of his legs, and then after the first surgery, he had lost feeling in the other. So they had to open him up again, which is just kind of awful. I hate that one hammer. Oh. But yeah, he's going to go for a checkup, to check in Thursday and another one Friday, and should know a bit more after that. But he can't lift things, he can't kneel down too much. I think he's on the mend, though. And certainly he isn't in pain anymore, which is the big deal. Because he was in massive amounts of pain. When he went to the hospital, he's like, look, I know it's going to take a bit. I can stand for a few minutes, but I can't stand for a long time, nor can I sit. So I'm going to just go lie down between things when dealing with you guys. And that's what he did. Yeah, he might be able to make it for D&D, assuming we do D&D on Friday. Depends upon whether or not our DM's family is done being sick. I imagine that's the biggest constraint, because fever was running through all of his girls. 3 kids. It's a lot of kids. Disconcerting noises coming from the projector. Really need to clear the lint trap on that thing. The worst part is, I know there's a second half to this level, and I've been at this for basically the entirety of the stream. It's gonna be a shorter stream too, because I don't want to like stay up all night. I'd say there's stuff I gotta do, but I just, don't want to ruin my sleep schedule further after being sick in a GDQ. Pretty much went to sleep around 5 a.m. every night. Which is not great. The nice thing is that because it's Central as opposed to Pacific, really that's just 3 a.m. my time. Don't you love it when it just kind of clips you through things? I'll take it. No! What's up, Foral Supreme? How you doing? Yeah, GDQ was fun. You were there too? Nice. Yeah, I hung around the Kaizo people a lot, but I didn't make it easy to see. I'm lacking a face cam. Most people didn't know who I was, which is always fun. Except for Blackbird. Blackbird knows what I look like. I was very surprised when I found that out. I went to, what was it? What was that convention? Like, Portland has an old game convention, I forget what it's called. I met Earthmelon there, and on the way back, we were on the way to Denny's because I was hungry. Ran into TJB and Undead Blackbird, and Undead Blackbird's like, "Oh, it's Pat." I'm like, "What?" It's like, yeah, no face cam. Have anything fun to show off? I didn't. That's one of my regrets, is I realized that at least one thing I did wrong for GDQ is I should have brought my own gear and set something up. Like, I would have loved to have just thrown chat hacks at people, just to see what they would do. And I didn't have the gear to do this. I didn't really want to bug someone like, "Hey, can I borrow your SD to SNES to do something?" Because, like, pretty much everyone who was there had, like, purpose, whereas I didn't. Or at least everyone sort of in that area who was doing testing. Like, Panga was doing testing, Juz was doing testing, Space Glam was doing testing. I want to say Germ Dove was doing testing as well. I never quite figured out that whether or not he was doing testing. There was another one being tested. Baba Yaga was also testing a new hack. So, like, there was an awful lot of people doing stuff. But I should have asked Blue Ribbon. Blue Ribbon had a spare card. Forced others to do Leap Back or easier finale. That would have been fun, honestly. Like, Leap Back would have been an easy and obvious thing. Like, Sleepery also would have been easy and obvious. Certainly would have added Bloshi in there. I might have just messaged on Discord and been like, "Hey guys, you won't be able to see it, but there are people being messed with chat hacks. Feel free to come in and do stuff." But, again, it didn't happen. Damn it. Just getting into Kaizo. Everyone's so nice and friendly. Oh, nice. Yeah, no, I don't think I had any really bad experiences, except with some people who are like, "I'm already miserable, please leave me alone." I'm like, okay. So, left them alone. Met a surprising number of SMWCentral people. Was like surprised at how many had showed up, because, what's his name? Mark Alarm was there, Java Brew was there, BD, previously known, or the Twitch user formerly known as Dr. No, BD was there. I want to say it was, Shovda was there. Marcy isn't staff, I don't think. There was one conversation where, quite literally, there was a lot of talking about how Quack Jam went. Some interesting inside baseball. Which I honestly found fascinating, but Doc was pretty much out of it for the entirety of the event. Or BD, that's going to take me some time to get used to. Thankfully, they've made it clear that Doc is still cool. The usage of Doc is still cool. Which always helps. I had a friend who came out as trans, and was like, "Okay, I know this is weird, but you guys have any questions?" Both me and our DM immediately raised our hand. She called on him, and this question, "Can we still call you Hammer?" "Oh, yeah, sure." "Okay, cool." That was it. We didn't have any other questions. It did help a lot. Makes it easier when you have a name. A not quite so new name to attach to somebody. Funny enough, we usually call her by her regular old name now. Before, it was a struggle to remember the prior dead name. Literally, my mom asked me, "What was that name again?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't remember. No one ever calls me that." Come on. Nope. Yes. But yeah, there was one conversation about a new feature that I think is public now. The user contests forum. And some discussion about that. And at that point, it's like, okay, who here is SMWCentral staff? And like, everybody in the ring except Hawaluta raises their hand. And that was pretty funny. I think maybe him and Hawaluta, and maybe Marcy or Blackbird, I forget. It was one other person. Dang it, I was really hoping to get through here big once. Little bit sad about that. That was a good attempt. I guess other funny GDQ things. I got there hella late, so my flight got really delayed. not like terribly delayed, but like it got delayed by an hour, which wouldn't have been a problem, except as I noticed when I was flying in, because I usually get Wi-Fi so I can get some stuff done. Message people or deal with other things. I usually send my sister my usual "planes are boring" text about halfway through. But anyway, I looked up to see when badges closed, like registration closed, i.e. where you get your badge, and turns out that on Wednesday it closed at 8. I landed at like 7 o'clock flat. Of course, landing isn't enough. You actually need to get the plane to the gate. The gate plane's gotta get the people off it. You gotta grab your stuff. I didn't check any bags. I don't ever check bags in this day and age. Because why would you? Unless you're bringing liquid, there's really no point. And so, yeah. Oh, cool. This is not... Never mind. And so basically, by the time I actually got off the plane and everything was like 7:30. And I was worried, so I got a cab. Like, I don't usually get cabs. Yeah, I guess I do. I usually get a cab or something. And, just was like taking me to the particular Hilton downtown. He's like, oh, the one on Marquette? I'm like, yes, the one on Marquette. That's exactly the one I want. So the nice thing about cabbies, they know where they're going, usually. And probably a run this dude does a lot. Especially because of the fact that he asked me if I wanted to ride back from the airport. I'm like, I'll deal with that when I get to it. So... Nuts. Should go next time I make other people play levels you intend to moderate and take notes. Save me some trouble. But yeah, I find someone who's got a badge, and I'm like, hey, where's registration? It's like, oh, 3rd floor. I'm like, okay, thanks. And I grab my luggage and I run. I'm like literally carrying a bag and my backpack. And I just sprint up the floor, up this elevator as fast as possible. I get to the registration desk and it's like 7:55. And I'm kind of sweating. I'm just, got off the airplane. And the lady, I'm like, okay, I'm here for registration. It's like, okay, are you a runner or a volunteer? I just look at her like a cow looks at an oncoming train and say, I'm a person who needs a badge. She's like, oh, okay, there's a different process for those types. I'm like, okay, it's fine. I just thought I was in the wrong place or something for a second. Funny enough, someone came up a few minutes after me. And, yeah, the other nice thing about registration is there was always, like, Red Bull. And she's like, do you want a Red Bull? I'm like, yes, I want a Red Bull. I definitely do want a Red Bull. So, that was good. It was nice, because otherwise I basically would have just had to go do something else. And, it wouldn't have been the end of the world. I probably would have wandered off. I think there was a pinball bar within walking distance I would have gone to. But it would have been a drag. Because if you don't have a badge, you're not really allowed on the floor. Got to see Barb on the floor sans badge because it had already closed. Registration already closed by the time he got there. And Lizstar came over and said, "Hey, do you know who are you?" He's like, "I'm Barb." He's like, "Yeah, I know you're Barb, but you need a badge. You can't stay here long," which was nice. Of course, Barb was a runner / couch person. I think couch people got runner badges, if I'm not mistaken, and so, like, if he had arranged in advance, he probably could have gotten a late registration or something, but maybe it just didn't matter. So that's what I read on the webpage that told me about how registration worked. But speaking of going next time, I think I might. The timing's actually pretty good for me. It's in Pittsburgh, which for non-Americans is on the East Coast. Not far away from DC. I don't know exactly how far away. I think it's like a 2 or 3 hour drive. Because it's on sort of the western side of Pennsylvania. It's not far away. And it's the week before the mystery hunt, so I could actually pull it off. Going to that, go to DC for a few days, and then go to the mystery hunt like the week after. So I'll think about it. I'm committed to anything. And of course, I'm not going to because it's so early in the year. It's still, a good 6 months away. But it would be cool. But I also have to, like, bring stuff, because like I said, if you don't bring something, it doesn't make a lot of sense. There is a lot of downtime, a lot of opportunity to, like, play games with people, and I, you know, didn't do it right. Like, I would have loved to have gotten, like, a NES flash cart and forcing people to play Pictionary. Because Pictionary is legitimately good. Like, it shouldn't be. People always say, oh man, the music's so good. I can't believe such good music's in a game that's so silly. And I'm like, but the game's actually good. Like, the little mini games are okay. None of them are amazing, but, like, it's a pretty okay mini game collection, and then you guess what the picture is. And the pictures are kind of cool. And it's got good music, you know, Tim Follin, hard to go wrong. But, like, Pictionary is a legitimately good NES game. By all accounts, it shouldn't be, but it is. Like, would I like it if this was, like, one of my permanent games? Absolutely not. If it was one of 3 games I had as a kid, I'd probably have gotten bored. And honestly, I think that that would be a game that'd be fun to hack and, like, give it new pictures and words to type in. And maybe a better way of typing in words, because, like, the sneakers going left and right kind of suck. Having like a proper alphabet grid would be a lot nicer. I was in the air, and then I wasn't. But anyway, like, I'd have to bring 2 consoles and the assorted cables for that. I don't know if I want to. One nice thing is that in the practice rooms they do provide RF modulators, or demodulators, whatever direction it goes. And so all of the LCDs do kind of work, regardless of your input set. So that's nice. Get a lot of good pinball, too. Probably just going to harp on that again, but, like, they had Godzilla, they had Jurassic Park. Really, Godzilla is the best pinball machine that was there. Even Glitchcat had to admit he had become based in Godzilla-pilled. In his words, not mine. But, like, it's just a really fun machine. It was interesting watching him play. Like, oh, I guess I could also mention that. I got to play a pinball game with Glitchcat, Carl Sagan, and Carl Sagan's significant other, I think. Never quite caught her name. Okay, we got this. No! Such a good attempt marred by something so stupid. Like, honestly, the double hitting on the boxes is still kind of annoying, but whatever. The interaction between these blocks is so... well, it's questionable. Getting better at that part, at least. I did meet Fawful. That was kind of fun. Got to tell him my story of almost going to MagFest. Because I almost went to MagFest. I got there... it was the weekend after the Mystery Hunt. I'm like, well, I'm in DC. Everyone else has gone off. Like, all my family was going to go off to other things that day. We're going to meet up and play mini golf in DC anyway. And I'm like, well, may as well head over there. It could be something fun to do. And so I went over, got a cab over to MagFest. I was like, okay, I'll just go. And I get there, and there was a sign saying it's full. And I'm like, oh, they probably in the parking lot or the hotel. Nope, they meant that the convention was full. So I walked all the way to registration. They're like, sorry. Nope, no can do. It's all full. I'm like, oh, well, that was fun. Turned right around and left. The thing is, like, you're in DC. You can find something to do. So I just walked. I took another Uber over to the Smithsonian. National Mall and just went to a few of the Smithsonians. I think I went to the... I want to say I went to Hirshhorn, but I don't know if I did. Probably went to Hirshhorn. As well as a couple others, because there was time before the weird indoor mini-golf puttery, I think it is. It's indoor mini-golf that's also a bar. It's a little bit of an issue because me and my sister had gotten the same thing. Both decided to get old fashions. I had a beer with dinner there. I got some wings and then had that. It was still fun though. I like mini golf. I'm not going to play it that often. One of those perpetual things I should have done by now is mini golf day on stream. Been meaning to do mini golf day and adventure game day, short adventure game day for a while. Just hasn't happened. I was leaping away. It's a track you're not meant to listen to in SMRPG for more than a few minutes. Still a banger track. Just kind of short. Well, I guess that's another thing that happened at GDQ. I met Pidge. Pidge is pretty cool. We talked some tech. Mentioned a thing I wanted to do for the SMRPG randomizer but hadn't gotten around to doing, which I think I still want to do. It's the kind of thing that I could probably write as an independent script and not have to worry about actually doing integration properly until the last second. Just because it affects only things that I'm pretty sure she's not touching in her current rework or refactor. She also told me that she'd gotten people to volunteer to write unit tests, and I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. We might be the only randomizer with unit tests. Because I can tell you, for most of my stuff, I don't got unit tests. There's some light tests at the bottom of most of the module files that test the important features, but I also don't edit them that often, and so I don't have to make sure things don't break. Typically, if I do make changes, they're much deeper down, like a change in how Carl's allocation strategy works, which I still need to fix up. As of like 2 years ago. Hate that part. And this part. Oh, hands. No! Wait, why am I sandbagging? No reason to sandbag. I guess it's one of those other things about GDQ is if you're there, you're usually not actually watching the stuff that's happening in the stream room unless you're really invested in a specific run. As usual, content, yeah. There's only been one time you've actually gotten mad at me for sandbagging, and that's when I was playing the eco-disaster game. And I'm like, I need to know what happens when I apply the torch to the oil spill. And the obvious happened. You're like, oh yeah, I gotta do it for the content. Like, I just kind of wanted to know what the death scream would look like. But I fully admit it was stupid. Like, that game, the prior game didn't actually have like any ability to die, and that running across that right there was a big shock. Like, I think the only place you could die in the prior game was, like, at the very end if you lost the challenge that the Weatherman gave you. Which we did repeatedly. Because it had the world's worst interface. For this sort of thing. We got a run going, so give me a sec. Nope, we don't. And we eventually had to get, like, I want to say someone tracked down, like, a reasonable slowdown execute. It might have been Dan. It might have been Space Dan, who did it. But yeah, that was fun. Really wouldn't mind playing another point-and-click adventure game. I think point-and-click adventure game day is coming. There's, like, 2 or 3 that I really want to play. One on Windows 98, and the rest on other things. Just small ones, not, like, really involved. I'm not going to play Gabriel Knight 3 or... What's another like big one I could try to tackle? Like a King's Quest game. Admittedly, though, I think the first King's Quest game is pretty short if you play the point-and-click adventure variant. Point-and-click remake they made a few years back. Okay, we got a run going. I really hope there's a midway. If there's not a midway, I am abandoning ship. Especially because there's RNG Koopas. Where am I? No! Please? Oh, thank goodness. Oh, my fingers. Can I bounce off the... How would I... Can I? Alright, this is a sandbag attempt to see if this works. No, I can't. That's just a weird leading edge. Why? I mean, maybe there's a point where I have to clear it and then stand there, because otherwise I will explode. One thing I will say that's nice is they aren't really RNG Koopas. Because of how this works. They're actually pretty consistent-ish Koopas. That isn't much of a consolation. This is not my favorite thing of all time, suddenly. That's really hard to dodge. And this is really hard to read. I don't have anything else that's pretty interesting here. I also saw an advert game I was unaware of at GDQ. One of the screens in the practice room was perpetually stuck on this one Genesis game. The Pringles Genesis game. And I'm like, they made a Pringles Genesis game? No. It's a weird piece of homebrew. Wait, what? It stopped ticking! Okay, that's interesting. There must be like a weird shell game happening there where that changes. I thought it was going to be like a timer ASM, but it must not be. That was a stupid way to get hit. Yeah, I could hear the shell this time. What else? Did an escape room at GDQ. That was pretty fun. I'm trying to remember all the people. It was like me and Holuta and Blue Ribbon and Kelgrand and Kelgrand's significant other. Nope. And someone else whose name is eluding me. A couple other people. Oh, and a couple of Holucha's friends. So it turns out the weekend of GDQ, there also was a like more standardish sci-fi Comic-Con style convention in town. Right, I don't want to go over the top there. And they had come into town to see that one. And apparently the friends that they were going to meet up with weren't there or something. And so they were pretty happy to have an excuse to ditch the con for a bit. And I don't remember his name. He gave me both a real name and a handle, but I forget what it was, unfortunately. I'm toast. And the thing I remember, unfortunately, he wanted to tell me about his cool arcade game he was making, and I'm like, okay, what is it about? And he's like, well, it's about those fish that climb up your urethra. And I'm like, why? Like, I don't know, I just kind of was inspired by them. And after the fact, I asked Holucha, I'm like, is he, like, serious? Is this, like, a thing he does? Like, oh, yeah, I played it. It's, like, it's short. It's like a little flash game. Like, okay, each to their own. I don't like how that part worked. I do like how that part worked. There's a boot. Okay. like I couldn't jump for some reason. Okay, so the thing that's happening here is the scroll is really fast. And so everything, I don't know why, something just feels off about this suddenly. Okay. And shadow against the wall. Oh yeah, I guess finishing that thought, we did the escape room, it was fun. It was sort of vaguely Indiana Jones themed with all of the serial numbers filed off. It's called The Pit. And the only real complaint I have about it is there wasn't a lot of surface area to start with. So like, basically, we had like 8 people jammed into a relatively small room, and there was only really 2 puzzles available. One was a big mosaic sliding block puzzle, and I looked at that for a minute, I'm like, oh, I'm going to solve this. And then Kelgran came over and was like, do you like these things? I'm like, no, I hate them. It's like, okay, I'll solve this then. He sat down and did that for a bit, and then was like, no, I don't know how to solve these. There's an algorithm, I don't remember what it is, but there's like a specific trick of moves you can make. I've done it before. Like, you get a feel for it eventually, how to move pieces relative to each other. Because I've done it with, for EcoQuest. Like, it's not hellaciously hard, it's just annoying. And it wasn't that bad, it was only a 4x4 one. I think the EcoQuest one might have been bigger. But Hawalucha's friend sat down and solved it, and eventually a voice came over the intercom. Congratulations! That doesn't do anything, but you should feel good about yourselves! We're like, oh, hooray. And the actual trick was there was a math problem we had to interpret correctly to open one of the locks, and I didn't like that part. The way it was phrased, it made you think you were going to do the math one way, but it turns out you were doing the math a different way, and especially since the entirety of the thing was locked behind that. It was a bit of a drag. So, I don't know. That was weird. But once we got into the room, the actual escape room, it was pretty fun. Just that part there just wasn't very interesting. Ah. Keep sandbagging. Keep sandbagging. Yeah, beyond that and going to a pinball bar with a bunch of people. I don't remember who all went. Blue Ribbon was there. Walsk was there. Dan... Dang it. The Dan we have priorly mentioned was there. Glitchcat was there. Marcy was there? Marcy, she recently had a name change on Twitch. I don't remember what the new one is. But thankfully still contains the word Marcy, so that makes it fairly easy. No, I need to throw that forward as opposed to up. Yeah, that watching some runs and just chilling. Like, the thing is it's a surprisingly chill time at GDQ. Like, I thought that it would be kind of like normal conventions, but there always seems to be something to do, and there's always so many people there, and lines and things, and it's just not that big. Like, it's not small, but also, like, it's not the crush that I expect from, like, PAX on a Saturday. Like, PAX on a Saturday is just packed to the gills. There's a reason why they started doing Monday as well. Like, or maybe it's a Thursday? I forget. Like, I guess I need to look at what kind of pass I have. I guess also on that front, Kev was there, aka Proto Pizza. Pretty cool dude. Yeah, I'm not dead. What's up, Zuccotti? How you doing? I remember I actually did bring your name up at some point when discussing something at GDQ. I don't remember what. Nope, dead. I do not like the rotating ghosts, and the fact that the layer is just going out from under me. That's the feeling I was missing. I missed the fact that if I stand still, the world moves. Makes everything feel extra floaty. I think I've covered everything. Nothing else to talk about with regards to GDQ. There probably are other things, I just don't remember. It's one of those, what you take out of these sorts of things is different for each person. Oh no. I need to hit him with that before that he drifts. Wait, no, but he was still shy. But yeah, mostly just talking about GDQ, occasionally talking about almost blowing up my car, and talking about helping Squiggles out. And of course, as always, things I probably should take care of streaming-wise. Kinda lost a week here due to being sick, which sucks. But, could've been worse. And it was good, actually, I forgot about that. I actually hurt my wrist the Monday before GDQ. Don't know how I did it. And so, like, it was hurting for a decent chunk of the time I was there. It's healed now. I think spending a week not playing any video games, not playing any pinball, not walking anywhere, not carrying gas cans for several miles, all culminated in making my wrist feel a lot better. I was safe. It's feeling fine now. Really, at GDQ, I just should have not played Waka nearly as often as I did. Like, oh, the Waka machine is open, I gotta play it! And I did. Also, TGM. They had a Tetris the Grandmaster machine. I love playing those. Like, it's really hard to go back to more normal Tetris when you've played TGM for a bit. I'm not good at it by any means, but still. Heard the TGM run did not go well, but I wasn't there to see it. Once I saw that it was on Switch, I was a little bit less excited, because, like, part of the spectacle of that is the machines. I don't know how to do this part without getting hit. This information here is not going to help me. I guess, actually, no, this information here, what's past this point, is new to me. Oh boy, more on-off. Wait, what? Oh, they were up there, okay. Discussing mechanics everyone hates? I don't think at any point we discussed mechanics everyone hates at GDQ. But I can say this is definitely not my favorite. Like, this sliding away Mario is not one of my favorites, and wall jumping. I mean, I've been in this level for a long time. For the vast majority of the stream. The first level was actually, like, trivially easy. I mean, it wasn't bad, but, like, it was a 2-minute level. No. Just need to remember that these guys are actually at just sort of this point of the screen. And I just need to be careful. That is a surprisingly tight wall jump set. I mean, the good news is it's basically just me versus the wall at this point. Yep, I kind of saw that coming. TGM looks so nice. It does. I'm always happy to see it when it shows up at various places. There was a pinball bar in San Francisco. I played it for the first time like a million years ago. And I'm like, I can't go back. It's just changed me. I didn't even play that much. Like, it's one of those, like, once you go, you can't just simply turn it back off. You just like, oh yeah, nope, I need this TGM now. They had Tacoma Game Show this year. I played a bit of that. Actually, me and Fiskbit had a few two-player games. He is a faster Tetris player than I am, just straight up. And so we played, what mode did we play? We played like the standard two-player mode a couple times. And basically the gimmicks, if you roll a good gimmick, and the other player is not prepared, which I wasn't because I've never played the gimmick version, instead of sending over extra, you know, blocks or whatever, defense, I forget the other quadrants, you're host. You're just host. You're not ready for the field to invert. You're just not ready, and it sucks. So, and then we did play a actual we didn't play head to head, but we both picked easy mode and played through it, and it was pretty funny. He gets to the end. He gets to the end a little bit faster than me. And it's like, oh man, I got it. I got second place. And I'm like, oh cool. Like, yeah, I'm still playing. And I finish up playing, and I'm like, oh look, I got second place. And he's like, no, how did that work? I'm like, well, I got more fireworks. Hana something, whatever the Japanese word for firework is. So that was pretty funny and very fun. Especially he had completely kicked my ass 2-player wise. I took that moment to declare myself victor over everything forever and had retired from Tetris. Which wasn't true, but it did make him mad for a second. So it was worth it. Yeah, Crazy Taxi, they also... Oh, come on, Pat. They also had Crazy Taxi, and I just love Crazy Taxi. But I sat down to play it for the first time on Wednesday when I got there. And I'm like, oh, great, I'm playing an Offspring. And he goes, yeah. Loudly, only in my right ear. Because there's headrests ear speakers. And so I'm mildly annoyed at this. And I'm like, do I want to play it? After a while, after playing 2 games, I'm like, man, I feel like it's damaged my right ear. Like, I'm not a happy camper. And so I was like, well, if I want to play Crazy Taxi, I need to make a change. So after that, I went up to my hotel room and grabbed my earplugs. Because I have some concert earplugs that were just in my backpack. One of those, in case I need to go somewhere. Loud kind of things. And they actually worked out. I'd always just put them in when I was about to play Crazy Taxi, and yeah, no problem. I just walked off there. That was stupid. Get in there! But yeah, fun thing I discovered of Crazy Taxi, the map is larger than I thought. So when I played Crazy Taxi in the past, I always go forward immediately. And you don't have to do that. The game actually lets you go backwards from where you were, which is weird. And I'm like, there's an entire map here. There's all sorts of people to pick up on this side of things. Still didn't change my actual behavior much, but you know. It was interesting to see. Okay. Oh. I am my own worst enemy. Yes, we're still on this level. What's up, Noah? How you doing? Look, it's a hard level. So. There's a lot to it. A lot of ghosts in it. It's a haunted level. It's a very haunted... Nuts! It's a very haunted level. Haunted, perhaps. Yeah. Mostly talking about random GDQ things, because I, got back from GDQ and didn't really talk much about it, except to the Final Fantasy V stream. Which was good. Made a lot of progress. Not terribly far away from the ending now. I just need to grind enough and get some elixirs. Because I don't have enough elixirs. It'd be a shame someone reset the game. Oh, if someone resets the game, I have zero compulsion about cheating my way back to where I was. I ain't doing this again. I thought about it. I thought about turning it off, and I'm like, if it happens, it happens. But I'm absolutely gonna cheat my way back. Because that first section is just brutal. The second one wasn't so bad. And this section isn't terrible. But the first section was definitely brutal. Nuts. It was close. It was close. Dang it! Just gotta calm down. Find my center. I know what to do. I don't like that I know what to do, but I know what to do. What else they have that was cool? So apparently they've got like a speedrun challenge thing they do at MagFest. Oh, that was actually something worth mentioning. I asked Kev if Impulse was going to be exhibited again at PAX, and the answer is yes. Then I asked, is Anon coming out for it? And he's like, I think so. So, that'll be cool. I also mentioned that, like, Anon really should just get something printed up. It doesn't even matter if it's good or not. Just have something to hand people when they're done looking at his game, or they can pick up. Just because, like, if you don't, it's a lot harder to actually remember what you saw. And pointed out that I did a PAX report stream, and if I had proof that I looked at or played a game in the form of like swag or a piece of paper, I reported on it. So the more you know. It does remind me, one of the games I was looking forward to coming out should be coming out before PAX, like late August or middle of August. I'm hoping that'll come out so I can play it before PAX. I'm certain they're going to have a booth. The Cricket J's Peculiar Game. Very much in the... What? Very much in sort of the, I want to make an Earthbound Undertale type game, but not quite the same. What I've played, I've liked. And I kind of like the gimmick of kids going off and having a weird adventure. And it could possibly still be real life, like Costume Quest has as part of its sort of world concept. That's definitely the case here. Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten here big. It's a big occasion. I was willing to risk there. Alright, now we just have the height jumps. Should be marginally easier since I've been embiggened. But we'll see. Nope. I forgot about how slippery it is. Absolutely forgot about how slippery it is. I'll still hit him though. It's weird that those are toggle blocks. I wonder if in an earlier revision of this, those weren't toggle blocks. Or there was a toggle you had to hit or something and it was nerfed before release. It's always weird when you see like a piece of gameplay, a clear piece of gameplay, that just doesn't seem right. Don't get me wrong, it's a questionable level design contest. I can't speak to knowing like Lizstar's design ethos. But it is very odd to have a piece that just doesn't fit. I missed the block. What else? I guess I could repeat this story for the people who missed it, but like, there were two people who were very much... One of the things I want to do at GDQ is convince people of the interest of... that these particular gaming platforms have interest. Dan Salvato? God, I don't know if I'm gonna get his name right. Was basically camped out at an Amiga clone and was trying to convince people that the Amiga games are interesting, and they are it's an interesting platform. The Amiga is a really fascinating technical platform, that remained relevant much longer than you might expect due to the aptly named video toaster. The video toaster was a quick, easy way to do... Oh, that feels so much better than what I was doing. Quick, relatively easy way to do quick chroma keying and other effects, and so it kind of lasted longer than you would expect. And they weren't terribly expensive since it was, in effect, consumer hardware compared to what you'd have to pay to be, like, up with CBS. So your local weather station, or your local weatherman probably used something like that to do the chroma keying and showing that, oh no, here comes the big blue thing, etc. And Lizstar, creator of this level, was showing off Saturn stuff. Some interesting Saturn games. Of course, the Panzer Dragoon stuff, because Panzer Dragoon is kind of like the impetus to own a Saturn, but there were some other interesting ones, just weird little off the walls. The Sega Saturn Shiro game, which was weird. It's basically a collection of mini games, the kind of thing you'd expect for an Adver game, which I guess I could add to my list, but then do I really want to play a bunch of Japanese mini games where the reward is if you do it well enough, you get to watch the commercial? And I guess the answer probably is yes. Well, I guess we'll have to play that at some point when I do an Adver game stream. The Pringles Adver game is definitely going in there, even though it's homebrew. The Grimace one, I still haven't played the Grimace one properly. The fact that it's a modern Adver game on a retro system still makes me very happy. Please don't crush, please don't crush, please don't crush. Alright, well, don't hold on to the block. We learned the lesson the hard way. Definitely just gotta try to punt it the moment I get it. There's a wise man once said, Jesus, I don't think I get the reference, but I like it. I'm trying to remember the other ones. There was the one that was like Lemmings and Tetris, which was pretty cool. But like the Saturn's an interesting system, and I just haven't explored it much, because like, I haven't explored it much, aside from playing the Mansion of Hidden Souls, which is not the same as Mansion of Hidden Souls, and just so much weirder and not nearly as fun, I think. Like, the heads are just so off-putting. The gun ending's great. The art ending is okay. The real ending is just insane. And I think there was one more ending. Oh, the Vine ending was like, yeah, whatever. Like, sudden and an inexplicable quick-time event that was not displayed on screen. Woo. Just like, why? I wasn't looking for the circle. I don't think there's any other, like, really cool things. But mostly there's just a lot of chilling, a lot of hanging out, watching other people do stuff. But a surprising amount of time just watching GermDev play. GermDev was almost always in the practice room just working on something or other. I don't know if it was a game, I don't know if it was his hack. Don't know if it was another person's hack he was testing, but just seemed to be having a good time. Supposed to be Ristalis' laugh? Ristas. I don't know who that is. Trying to think of, like, very famous laughs in video games. You got Kefka. I want to say Graph. Graph probably had a pretty famous one, but honestly, I think most people have forgotten that Xenogears exists at this point. Bizarre fact, Xenogears, what's the other one? There's like 3. Xenogears, Xenosaga, and the other Xeno game are all in the same universe or something. It's inexplicable. But of course, to understand how they're related, you need to have someone who actually understands, bust out a whiteboard, and spend the next, like, 15 minutes explaining it to you. Because it's one of those games. Not to mention that they ran into the Gainax problem, classic Gainax problem of, oh no, we have our cool anime game about killing God, but we ran out of money. The torture, yeah, Disc 2 sucks. They ran out of money, and it's obvious. It's like, okay, well, here's a flashback. Now fight a boss. Oh, sorry about that. You didn't fight the boss right. And because, you know, it's just a boss fight, and, like, you can't level up anywhere or buy better gear or anything, you better just do it again. Except you didn't get to save after watching the cutscene. Sucks to be you. Yes! My hand hurts. My hand hurts a little bit. We did it. We absolutely did it. Disappointed? I'm not disappointed. That was a hard level. It's just a mechanic I don't really jive with. It's a nice title. Like, look at this. It's a nice screen right here, though, isn't it? More booster music. You can't go wrong with that. And I'm done. I'm completely done with that level.